Good Monday morning, everyone. It's time to talk about the markets with Jim Cramer on the floor of the NYSE. Jim, as this tariff fallout continues, you want people to be targeted in what they sell.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is there's not one voice. I mean, obviously, if you have a policy right now of no tariff, NAFTA, and then you put tariffs on, are there tariffs on or not? And the idea is that the president proposed this at the same time they're trying to do NAFTA, and what people are doing are selling everything. And my experience is that, as I write in Real Money, first part, they sell everything. Second part, they come back, even in the same session, they come back to what wouldn't be hurt. Third part, they go back to what wouldn't be hurt longer term, except for they don't come back to Boeing. They tend not to come back to Caterpillar. And I think that that's a shame because there's a lot of demand for these companies' products. So just all I'm saying is be thoughtful of what you sell. Notice, I'm not saying go buy. Now, we made some buys this morning for action alerts because we have been way cash heavy and we know the market's getting oversold. We sold a lot of stuff higher and now we're looking to deploy capital into the companies that are good, that are lower. But I just caution people to think if you really know what's going on with trade, then you're a genius, because no one does, including the government right now. They just don't know.
And you have John Ferriola of Nucor on tonight.
Yeah, no, John, I mean, look, the cost of capital of the Chinese is nothing. We obviously have a cost of capital. So what I always say to the free traders out there is, how do you compete with someone who's making something for free? And you can't, which is really part of the issue. The Chinese lower the whole world's price for steel, which makes it so even if you're the low-cost producer like Nucor, you're not going to make your money. Now, on the other side is Nucor's making a lot of money. It's also got a big break from taxes. So, do we really feel bad for Nucor? Well, I'm not in the feel good, feel bad business. I'm in the business of having U.S. steel companies. And I think it's I do believe that at a certain point you can sacrifice one group of workers for another. Like maybe we want to sacrifice the Nucor workers in order to be able to sell a lot of razors to China. But at least let's understand that it is one or the other. And if the Chinese don't blink and start producing something that we don't need, meaning that we don't need an imperative of, then, and I think it is imperative of the steel industry, then everybody's better off. Who the Chinese employ, what industries they target in order to have a lot of people working are integral to our economy. And we wish they would target other industries and not steel, not aluminum. The aluminum people have been saying this for ages. Is there a dearth of aluminum? Because if the Chinese stop making as much aluminum, yes. So Alcoa goes up, but it depends about what industry they target. And they've been targeting steel because it puts a lot of people to work.
And go back to fundamentals, right? I mean, when we talk about tariffs, we know the iPhone is made in China. You mentioned a Baird note this morning saying that the ecosystem is actually good for Apple.
So everybody sells everything. And then we look about what's been sold too heavily. Now, you can wait all this out and just say, you know what, I am going to let the smoke clear. What I'm saying is we don't know when the smoke clears, so use the weakness to buy really good stocks at cheaper prices. This is not revelatory, but it's not what I say people are doing. And I just want people to be a little bit cooler. Let's take the stock of Boeing. Boeing has gone up, went up about 70 points from when I sat down with them in December, and now it's giving back a lot of that gain. Makes sense. Retailers just reported some of them reported really good quarters. Stocks are coming down because they're part of the market. Doesn't make sense. So I am saying, please, 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 you want to sell the S&P short, you want to play that game. That's not my business. You want to trade futures, that's not what I do. I look at individual companies and try to find value. And it's kind of an exciting time if that's the way you look at it.
And maybe focus on earnings, right? We get Target's results tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, Target has done a lot of things right. If you go to the new Targets, they're pretty exciting. At the same time, Target stock is up a lot. I mean, it's up in the 50s. So what I urge you to do is recognize that there are situations where the stocks have moved a great deal during the great bull run, and be cognizant that some of them might come in. You can spin a story which says Target buys a lot of Chinese goods and those prices are going to go up. I think that that's a false narrative, but it's an easily spun narrative. So what I say is try to figure out what's a false narrative and what isn't. take advantage of big declines, and move on.
Speaking of narratives, remember when we were all worried about the 10-year yield?
Yeah, I mean, remember that? I mean, we were worried that if the 10-year touched 3, we'd have to sell everything. Now we don't think about the 10-year. And this shows you how fickle the thought process is. And anything you sold because you were worried about the 10-year, you're now thinking, why did I do that? And all I'm saying is that could end up being how you feel about tariffs.
And life goes on, because we did get a merger this Monday. French insurer AXA buying XL Group.
Here's a company using the strong euro to buy an excellent insurance company that if you had sold that company on Friday because you were worried about international trade, you would have made a mistake. Now you can say, oh, come on, Jim, that's a needle in a haystack. What I'm saying is there are a lot of needles in the haystack.
All right, well said. Now, Jim, you have the Nucor CEO on Mad tonight. You also have Domino's CEO Patrick Doyle.
Yeah, I mean, look, is pizza still a hot category? Domino's is. Papa John's isn't. Historically, when I've asked Patty about the competition, he's demurred, he's deferred. But I've got to find out more. And Patty's about to retire. John, obviously, Nucor has been at the forefront of pushing for these tariffs. So let's see what they have to say. As a matter of fact, I would say no company on earth has been more vociferous about the need to do what's been done. And if you go and look at all the Commerce Department filings, you'll see Nucor's behind all of them. We own Nucor for action alerts.
All right, important show tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern on CNBC. We're going to talk about Nucor and a whole other list of stocks on our Action Alerts Plus call. Join us there.